Wow, we're getting a lot of emails on that last guess. But meanwhile, this one making some history today. Tim Scott becoming the South's first elected black senator since Reconstruction. But while South Carolina is proudly celebrating, the NAACP is not. In fact, the organization that prides itself on celebrating the accomplishments of African Americans hasn't said a peep. Senator Tim Scott says that could be the problem, although he's not really offended one way or the other. Senator, first off, congratulations. What an honor. And I knew you win. I knew you win. What do you think of that? I mean, I hate to have you feel slighted on a big day, but that's the NAACP, ignoring what has to be one of the greatest moments for African Americans this year.
Well, I'll tell you that is no slight, to be honest with you. Ultimately, I'm thankful for those who actually know who I am, who celebrate the success of me and my family, particularly my grandfather and my mother, who paid a high price to make sure that I had an opportunity to succeed. This is a good day. Frankly, the fact that the NAACP does not weigh in a positive position has been my experience for the last 4 years of elected office. Nothing has changed. That's okay with me.
And they were doing their darndest to make sure you wouldn't get elected into that office, but that was then. This is now. You're obviously a gentleman, no grudge now. But
not at all.
I'd be curious what you thought of the prior guest remark, if you had a chance, Senator Minister Jonathan Gentry, who says that African Americans acting out as they are losing their message and hurting themselves. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I certainly heard a part of the message. I didn't hear the whole message. I know that there were people who were throwing scriptures back and forth. One scripture I think would benefit all of us is the notion of Proverbs 29:18, that without a vision people cast off restraint. Perhaps one of the things that we could focus on as a nation and as a community is having a vision, a positive, constructive vision about the future. I am so thankful that we have law enforcement officers who are willing to put their life on the line to serve people that they've never met before. And at the same time, I understand the pain and the misery that comes with living in poverty. So when you put those two together, I would love to see a positive outcome. One of the ways that we have a positive outcome are to bring stakeholders to the same table and have a serious conversation about moving forward. I reached out to friends of mine in the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus. I reached out to the Urban League, some of the folks in South Carolina. I also reached out to Hispanic leaders as well as white leaders so that we could bring people together. The one thing that has made America the most amazing country on earth is the ability to overcome obstacles. We are good at that when we focus on the future and not simply getting mired in the past.
Yet there are organizations for women in the Senate. There are organizations for great female legislators of any political persuasion. But when it comes time to represent, to showing and representing powerful African American senators, congressmen like yourself, you're left out of that group picture. Does that bother you?
No doubt about that. It doesn't. I grew up believing that we were better together. I used to give speeches about the patchwork quilt, its patches being black and white, red and brown, woven together by the threads of democracy. I believe that we are strengthened by our diversity if we are able to remain focused on one future. I'm going to remain that optimistic, positive person because ultimately it has transformed my life. I have been a frustrated youth before and I was flunking out of high school. I have been a kid drifting in the wrong direction. It did not lead to positive outcomes. So the reason why I'm so positive is I figured it out. It works. Hard work creates your own luck. And so to the extent that I can help create the access to the American dream through focusing on my opportunity agenda, I think we can move the country in the right direction. We need more mentors showing up in neighborhoods that are at risk. We could take those at-risk kids and make them into high-potential kids. This takes work. It doesn't take just merely having a good vision. It takes rolling your sleeves up and going to work. And frankly, a part of that conversation is getting the government out of the way and allowing the greatness of America to manifest the change that we so desperately seek.
Is the next stop the White House for you? You ever looking at that?
No. I think the next step is going to vote in about 3 minutes. So.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
For now. Senator, thank you again and congratulations.